Bruce Cassidy. What are we doing?
Bruce Cassidy, whatever happened there. MacKenzie Weegar got traded to Utah. That makes me laugh so much. That's like that. Whenever I hear Quasimodo predicted all of this, and then also blank your brother Billy. Whatever happened there? Whatever happened there? Whatever. Just incredible rage bait, and same with you never had the makings of a varsity athlete. Oh, come on.
Oh, it's like bringing up Tanner Jeannot to Rose. It's just fucking automatic. Oh, shout out the GOAT. Anyways. Yes, MacKenzie Weegar to Utah. We'll finally get to it after an hour and 45 minutes.
Almost 2 hours.
I just want to point out with the MacKenzie Weegar trade, the most interesting part, one, the people who thought TJ Gillen was going the other way, like seriously thought
I
that.
didn't think it was going to happen. I was just
like,
no.
Cool. Like, people said it jokingly, but some
Yeah.
people thought it literally, and I think that's a little concerning. This is the NHL. This never happens.
People thought Oliver Moore was going to go back in that trade.
Like, what are we talking about? Like, the fact that even got traction is a problem. But I digress. If I recall correctly, these are 3 2026 seconds. Am I not reading that wrong?
Yeah, they're all 2026, I believe.
Man, so like Kyle Davidson, if you want to see what you can do with a plethora of second-round picks, I'm not saying MacKenzie Weegar is what you should go do, but like, I think the point, not to bring it back to the Hawks game, but like, the trades they made this week, you can do what they're doing this year in like a year or two because you have the capital to go do that. Like, Utah didn't need to have all these picks. This is them accumulating them over years. And now they get to use them because they're making a playoff push, and they didn't have to use their first-round pick to get a stud defensive defenseman.
And they
Who
still
knows?
have all their
Probably
top
doesn't.
Prospects.
Exactly. Still have Lamoureux, still have Boot, still have fucking TJ Ginla, still have Caleb Denoye, and you still have all your good players on the roster.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But, sorry, you're right. I forgot about him. He's another first-round pick. But Utah's in a very good spot. They have all the cap space in the world, and if we're being honest, you could probably still go big game hunting if you really want to. And my only concern is, like, MacKenzie Weegar's got 5 more years left. So he's 32. He blocks a lot of shots. Those are hard miles. I know Utah hasn't lived through this, but Arizona kind of lived through this with Nicholas Hjalmarsson picking a defensive defenseman up at the wrong time. But I get where they're coming from this time. I think he's like the perfect defensive partner for a guy like Sergachev. So can't help but be excited if you're a Utah fan, especially for this year. But
absolutely,
looking towards the future, it will be a little concerning. I do think it's interesting that Craig Conroy went with all quantity over quality.
Oh, he went quantity over quality, yeah.
And I think we need to have a conversation about Craig Conroy and some of the returns he's gotten on these trades, because I don't think he's had a single trade where I can definitively say he won that trade. And I guess you can't for teams like this. Like, I guess, like, who knows? There are 3 seconds. It could be one of them could be the next Nikita Kucherov. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know that.
We could do the same logic for the Blackhawks. Like,
exactly, but it's just, at least with the Hawks, they were getting the ones. You know what I mean? They were getting the first-round picks. They were getting plausible names or something of that nature. But, like, how many first-round picks has Craig Conroy acquired?
Not enough.
1, 2,
for me to know.
maybe? Yeah, like, it's – and I don't think he's acquired a single top 5 prospect. I'm not even going to go top 3. Like,
okay, they
only
do have
Mata
2
being
firsts this year and next year. They have 4 seconds this year, but I think that's all from the trade. So that's a good start. That's a very good start.
Good start. But also, I don't know. Like, you better have something up your sleeve with Kadri. That's all I'm going to say. Like, I don't think Coleman can get you a first in this. Well, I mean, shit, he might in this market.
I think, but he can, personally,
yeah, with the playoff pedigree too. But like, man, Kadri can get that. You can get that 3rd first-round pick. I think you're sitting in a really good spot because, like, I think they had a good draft last year. You know, Cole Potter, I think, was an underrated pick by them. I don't know if it's had this year or the year before. It was this year, right?
No, it was last year, and they got Reshny as well. So
yeah, I like Reshny too. They just need more guys. Like they're in a Blackhawk spot that they were a couple years ago. You need to get more bodies in the system. So I guess in that perspective, getting 3 seconds helps with that. But definitely interesting. And you get rid of Weegar's contract. Weegar was definitely never going to fit this
No
timeline. But that's a
retention.
guy who it's kind of crazy though because that's a guy who loved being in Calgary. So you lose him and Anderson in 1 year. That back end looks so much worse now. Um, Room for Perek now. Perek's
I
going to
was just
get
gonna say that. Yeah.
minutes to end this year, so you'll see what you have with him. But I know this year hasn't been the best because he's been bounced around a little bit. So hopefully, get more consistency back there, and some of these prospects that you traded for move up, and you got White Cloud and Mata as a little bit defensive
I
presence on
think they're
that
gonna
back
keep White
end.
Cloud.
Well, yeah, he's locked up. I mean, he's still on that 8 year deal that he signed pre-COVID. I want to say so. Maybe post-COVID. I'm not sure, but I just remember he signed an 8 year deal at like
Long
3 mil. Everyone,
contract. Yeah.
it's a long contract. Yes. Um, yeah. Hopefully, Calgary can hit on some of these draft picks, and you know, if any team, like if I had to have any team get Gavin McKenna, if it wasn't the Hawks, it's got to be Calgary. I really don't want to see him on the Rangers. I don't want to see him on the Canucks, and I definitely don't want to see him on the Blues. But if the Flames got him or Stenberg, I think that just changes the whole trajectory. Hell, even if they get a Bierhoff and you have Bierhoff, Parak on your right side, that's a good starting point. Like, and Calgary's in the position to do that. Or you get the Malholtra kid, or you get Tyden Lawrence. Like, they're going to get a really good prospect to put in this pool for the first time in a long time. Since Matthew Tkachuk, probably.
Kachuk.
So,
Kachuk. Yep.
yeah, 100%. And they're going to have a higher position than they had when they got him. So I think Calgary fans should be excited. Now that I've kind of talked myself into kind of liking this trade a little bit, like looking at their perspective, like 3 seconds makes more sense than getting a first 2 years from now. I do think that in that perspective, that makes sense. And also, like, we see what the Hawks do with seconds all the time at the draft. You can trade right back up into the
They're
first
so
round because some team doesn't know who
malleable.
they want and they want more kicks at the can. Like, I think it was a fair trade on both sides. If I'm, and you know what? Credit to Conroy. He kind of took the Davidson approach. I want to pick my prospects. I'm not going to get other people's prospects to develop. Davidson took the same approach. Mike Greer took the same approach to an extent. So I understand that thought process as well.
By the way, that Zach Whitecloud contract was signed back in 2021. So yeah, October.
I'm telling you, man, we're going in on what, year 6 of that contract next year? Oh,
Yeah,
crazy.
it'll be year 5 next year. He'll be a UFA in 2028.
Yeah. The 8 year contracts aren't real. Seth Jones is signed until 2030. Elias Pettersson is signed until 2032. Like,
Oof, my own.
yeah, it's a lot of money.
Where are you at with Elias Pettersson now? Because for a while, man, like if I would love like a Pettersson, like if Pettersson can get back to where he was, obviously. But to me, that almost seems like another Seth Jones situation where the Blackhawks are on the up and up as opposed to 2021 when they were clear on the down. But I just think the Hawks are still a couple years away, and I just wonder if Pettersson gets there and like this is not what I wanted, and then you got $11.6 million on your cap ledger. So
It's got way
it would have
more
to.
like, yeah.
I was gonna say like he would have to force his way there, and Blackhawks give up minimal because they can take on. They are one of the few teams in the NHL that can take on that contract, but I don't know if I right at this moment would want to pay the assets for Pettersson. Well, definitely what Vancouver would want for Pettersson.
I don't. And I don't think, I think there's more of a likelihood that ends up being a Huberto-esque contract than him regaining his form and you looking like a genius. And I just think, I guess another reason I'm kind of leaning towards just run it with the kids next year because there's a world where they get Pettersson, and then there's a world where a guy like Nick Largus isn't in the top 9, and we're sitting there like, what the hell are we doing? Like, this guy's not getting the development that he's going to need as a goal scorer because we got to give it to a guy who didn't take a shot in his last 3 games. That's a fact. That's what happened this week for the Canucks. Like, this guy has lost all confidence, and, he's run out of fingers to point, besides that himself. I don't think the Hawks are in a position to take that risk. I guess they are. Like, they can afford to take that risk because at the end of the day, you'll probably just buy him out. But, like, the last thing you want to do, and, like, this is where probably Davidson's thinking, but you can't think. I guess you can't think this far ahead, but with a contract like this, you have to. Let's say it's 2028, 2029. Let's say you picked like 6 and you got like Tynan Lawrence. Like he'll be up for an extension. Rondell and Canceroff looks like they're not going to be cheap if they're as good as projected. But I guess
And
like
that's what you want to happen.
Exactly, and that's what you want to happen. The last thing you want is to not be able to sign a Roman Canceroff because you have to pay a Pedersen 11.6 and you ran out of money. And now he's got a no move and he's not going to move it again. And you're either going to have to buy him out or he's just going to take up a spot and you're going to have to trade a young player because you don't have room for him. So I get where Davidson's coming from that perspective. Plus he's 28 or is he 26? How old? I'm pretty sure he's 28. Isn't he?
He'll be 28 later this year. I think he's late 98.
That's like right at the cutoff of what I don't want on this team right now, unfortunately. And like, who knows? Maybe he would come to the Hawks and be a 100-point player. I don't have the crystal ball to see that, and I don't want to risk the assets right now, nor the development roster spots to take that gamble at the moment. Now, let's say he's coming off a 70-point season next year, and the kids look like they need an extra step. Yeah, we can have that conversation. I just don't think this is the time. This isn't the time.
Right
now, for a team like Detroit, I think you take that swing. I think Detroit takes that. You should take that swing. I think Carolina, if you can't get it done this year, you have to take that swing. So other teams can. Fucking LA can take that swing if they want to.
Dude,
they probably would.
Could you imagine?
I don't think they want to take that risk, though. They got a lot of money locked up in some top guys.
Yeah. Let's they could somehow load off Lindholm.
I don't think San Jose would. They already kicked the can on Sherwood. Seattle?
Yeah.
I think Seattle actually would take that risk. We're
cooking because Vancouver will want Shane Wright back. Now we're cooking.
And I think they do that. Like, let's say it's pick 17 and Shane Wright.
Yeah.
I think that's something that could happen. Oh, Pedersen doesn't want to go there, though.
That is Pacific. Yeah, and maybe that too. But, yeah,
he's got to no move. Like, this is the problem. Like, Vancouver is no one to blame but themselves with Pedersen. They could have moved him a year ago, and they did the same shit that the Leafs did with Marner. And I hate when teams are like, oh, woe is me when I didn't trade a guy before his new move kicked in. Sorry, you should have had a killer instinct when you had the chance. Now you just made your job 10 times harder, and it's self-inflicted. Like, sorry, you pushed off, like, what does Dangle say? You pushed off your homework till the end. Like, you don't get to cry about it. Do your homework early next time you don't have the situation. You know, Dale Talon learned this lesson once upon a time when he forgot to fucking put contracts in a fax machine. Like, I don't have sympathy for this shit. Like, yeah. Sorry.
What's the thing? Me reaping, yay, me sowing. Aw. Not so fun now, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the trade that still has not gone through. Actually, I want to touch more on the MacKenzie Weegar trade because I just want to go through their lines right now. So their forwards, they got Keller, Schmaltz, Gunther. Second line's Paterka, Cooley, Krause. Third line, McBain, Hayton, Yamamoto. And your fourth line is Alexander Kerfoot, Kevin Stenlund, Michael Carcone. And their defense is very veteran now. You got Sergachev, Dursey, Cole, Weegar, Nate Schmidt, and John Marino. And then your goaltending is Vimilka and Vanacek. They're very well set. And they still have guys in the system. Like, that's where I want the Hawks to be in like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, because like you look at their bottom six and it's like, oh, the bottom six isn't that impressive. But then you look in like a year, it could be like Denoye and TJ Ginla, and it's just like, oh, okay, oh, actually it looks a lot better. Wow, okay. And then on the back end, it's like, oh, some guys are getting older. Let's add in a more polished Maverick Lamoureux. Yeah, and Simashev, man, like they got guys coming, and Vimilka getting better every year is such a good sign. They're in a good spot. And that's probably why they're entertaining a Robert Thomas right now. That's why they just entertained a MacKenzie Weegar. And good on them because they have an owner that's okay to do it now. Like, this isn't something Arizona would have ever done. Now they have Ryan Smith, who's the owner of the Utah Jazz and the Utah Mammoth. He wants to see a championship. He wants to win. He makes winning moves. He's not afraid to make a move. He's not afraid to spend money to make a move. So if you're a Utah fan, I can't help but think you're so
Dude,
happy about this.
he wants to go beyond that. He wants to make the sport of hockey known in Utah because I don't think it's the most popular sport there right now, but it can work its way up quickly with how they are, like how they're running the team and how they're spending their money with it
Yeah, I
on
mean,
and
Rome
off the
wasn't built in
ice.
a day. Rome wasn't built in a day, and I know like they're basically kind of you're building a fan base from the ground up and an extent, and you got to do it in a certain way. And what better way to do it than play some exciting hockey and get a deep playoff run going? And they're all locked up. So,
Mm-hmm. Except for
ugh,
Schmaltz, but I mean, with how everything's gone, he might just extend there.
always bet on nothing.
Mm-hmm. Always bet on nothing changing, at least.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, this hasn't changed yet. We still don't know if the Colton Parayko trade has gone through, and I wonder at this point if it ever is going to go through. Because I think this tweet from Jeremy Rutherford, who is very locked in with the Blues, I think it's from a few hours ago. Yeah, this is like from like 2.5 hours ago. At this moment, to my knowledge, there's been no official decision from Parayko about waiving his no trade clause to Buffalo. The Blues are playing in Seattle tonight and have made their way to the Climate Pledge Arena for their game against the Kraken. Parayko, who's been out of the lineup with back spasms, was not scheduled to play anyway. He remains at the team hotel. So yeah, he's probably sitting there pondering. Maybe he's watching, some Family Guy on the TV. Get there and usually.
Nothing clears the mind better than Hotel Family Guy to make a
Bro,
life-changing
it's like,
decision.
dude, it's like it's the AC in the hotel room and Family Guy on the TV just hits different than everywhere else. Or in our case, Spider-Man 3 playing in the hotel room and Toy Story 2. The
Facts.
greatest sequels
Screw
ever.
you guys. I work alone. Sorry, I was thinking of
What?
Buzz Lightyear, the movie. It's another good movie. Anyways,
Bro, we need to do a Toy Story 5 review when it comes out.
let's go.
Wait, hold up. When does Toy Story 5 come out? What's the exact date? Is it sometime in June?
Yeah, I hope it's out before end of June.
I was gonna say we should totally see Toy Story 5 if we
Oh,
get
I'm down. I'm so down.
Because it is June 19th, and that is a week before.
Oh my god, it's coming out on Juneteenth. That's so iconic.
Just like how we were supposed to see the Minions Rise of Gru in Montreal, but that never happened.
Oh, to be taken back to the Minions Rise of Gru hype. No one will ever understand
Crazy.
the hype of something we never saw. Oh, the Grudiverse is growing every day.
So Roddy Murtka and a first round pick. What do we if this trade does go through, what do we think of that that haul for St. Louis and what Buffalo gave up?
For St. Louis, I mean, you get exactly what you want, which is a first round pick, and you get a tall, hulking right-handed defenseman to replace Parayko in your prospect pool. And then for Buffalo, you get a perfect defenseman to fit in that top four. I mean, the fact that your top four is going to be Dahlin, Samuelson, and then Power and Parayko, and then you're going to have Byram, and when you're healthy, it'll be Kesselring. It's about as good of a top six as you're going to see. And then coupled with that, you didn't lose any forwards on your roster, which I know was a concern if they were exactly nothing off the current roster. And Murta, they just drafted him this year. He's 6'8". He's huge.
He's a big boy. Yeah,
he's a big boy. But he's a big boy that wasn't going to be in the NHL for 2 years, and hopefully he waives it because no fan base deserves it more than Buffalo to have their team buy. I was kind of hoping it was going to be Ristolainen at one point, just because I think it would be hysterical.
That would be funny.
But God, he really changes that top four. And I know he's older, but he brings a veteran presence to that blue line that I don't think they have in terms of star talent and guys who have been there and have won a Stanley Cup.
Champion, Olympian.
So is Byram, I guess.
Much to my chagrin, and also play at the Four Nations. Like he's got the big game pedigree. Yeah.
big time. And that you couple that with Tage Thompson coming off the gold medal, and you look at some of the guys the fact that they have arguably won the Paterka trade in hindsight is crazy, just
Oh,
because of Josh
100%
Jones'
they have, which
impact
I
and
would have never
everything.
guessed.
Exactly. It's nuts. Like credit to and Kevin Adams isn't here anymore, but Yarmo's first big move to buy is kind of that deserves a laugh for Kevin Adams. He's just like
Dude,
all
they
this
must
work
have
I did.
fucking hated him.
Yeah,
Holy.
they must have
Like,
hated
just a
him.
cancerous mole removed from that organization and
Holy
franchise.
shit. But they're a wagon. They're a wagon, and it's the conflict of, do you want to take away from the wagon? Do you want to add to it and potentially mess up the balance? Like, this is always the talk when you have a team this hot. We've seen it time and time again. Teams can be white hot and they get a trade deadline acquisition and never really clicks and they're out in the first round. Like, this happens all the time. I think of Rick Nash going to Boston back in the day. Like, that's immediately what I think of. And that worked out so well. But you got to take the swings. Got to take the swings, and I think this is a good swing for Buffalo. And like you said, can't ask for more pedigree in that locker room right now.
I just think, like, I'll make it about the Blue Jays. I remember because they ran so much on vibes and the power of friendship. They were legitimately Jays fans before the deadline last year. They were like, we don't need to make any moves. Let's just go on the power of friendship. And they made a couple moves. They added Shane Bieber from Cleveland. They got a couple bullpen arms, and like, especially in the case of baseball, when a lot of the bullpen arms aren't interacting with most of the players, anyways. Like, I don't think you could ruin team chemistry that way. But yeah, there are people complaining about that. But them upgrading their pitching almost got them a World Series. So yeah, just from that experience, I think you should upgrade. And even if people are like, "Oh, we just got to ride the power of friendship," you can do that and add. Just get good people, I guess.